I model a complete manometer assembly in Plant 3D. Only the parts that actually matter. Real engineering details. Alright, let's kick things off with the main pipe. First up, I'm drawing a DN200 pipe. Next comes the olet. Its purpose is to create a strong and compact branch connection from the main pipe to the instrument line. Here I select the main pipe diameter, branch pipe diameter, and the required dimensions. The purpose is to include all necessary parts for a complete and proper isometric drawing. Third comes the small branch pipe. Most instruments usually use DN15 pipe sizes. Larger instruments can use DN20 or DN25. The fourth part is the coupling. Its purpose is to create a threaded connection at the free end. In this case, one side is plain for welding, and the other side is threaded for the needle valve connection. This solution allows workers to avoid threading the pipe itself. The fifth part is the needle valve. It allows the manometer to be isolated, replaced, or reset safely. The small vent hole helps release pressure from the manometer side. I downloaded the needle valve model from GrabCAD. Now I turn it into a live Plant 3D valve. I add connection ports and fill in the required properties so pipes can connect to it correctly. Additional note about the DN15 branch pipe. In better installations, this pipe is often bent into a pigtail loop or at least slightly curved. This helps protect the manometer from hot vapors and pressure shocks. The last component is the pressure gauge head. This is the part that measures and displays the system pressure. I also downloaded the pressure gauge from GrabCAD and turned it into a live Plant 3D instrument component. This allows the real component to appear correctly in isometric drawings. Sometimes they can also have flanged or other connection types, depending on the application. Now I check the ISO symbols in the Properties palette. Each component should have the correct view in the isometric drawing. In this case, I need to change the pressure gauge ISO code. When I created this part from the GrabCAD model, I originally selected the inline instrument type. Now I change the ISO symbol to threaded pressure gauge, so it appears correctly in the isometric drawing. Now let's check how the model looks in the isometric drawing. I create it using the Quick ISO function, which generates an isometric drawing from the parts 1 highlighted. All components are reflected correctly in the isometric drawing. Now that the pressure gauge is done, let's create another very common instrument, a temperature sensor, or simply a thermometer. We will model all the necessary parts step by step. This assembly has a simpler construction. No valve is needed, and most parts remain the same. We still use an olet, a DN15 branch pipe, and a coupling for the thermometer connection. The idea is to create proper instrument models once, and then copy them into future projects when needed. You can prepare different versions for main pipe sizes, for example from DN50 to DN300. Also check the Properties palette carefully. Add proper component names, ISO codes, sizes, and descriptions, so every part appears correctly in the isometric drawings. I also add the thermometer model from GrabCAD. These parts usually look much more realistic than the generic components from the AutoCAD library. Just connect it to the pipe, and the assembly is done. Subscribe for more useful engineering practice, Plant 3D workflows, and real industrial modeling.